Hi, I want to show you some of my recent acquisitions. Starting off is Phragmipedium Lussier, which is a cross made by Monsieur Lussier, a well-known local orchid grower here in the Montreal region. This Phragmipedium is Gargoyle by Memoria Dick Clemens. I'm surprised how dark this flower is, considering that Gargoyle is mostly green, and Dick Clemens is red, but not this red. So anyways, it's very beautiful. This is very, very dark, and I love the details of the flower. The lip is, wow. I just love the lip, those spots everywhere, and the hair on the petals, really beautiful. So I'm really happy with this acquisition. So the plant itself is in fairly good shape. I recently repotted it in bark, sponge rock, and with a bit of sphagnum moss on top. The leaves appear to have a little bit of sunburn, but I'll clean all that off once once the spike is done. But when this flower does finish, there is another bud in wait, so I should have flowers for at least a month. So yay, red frags. And I'm pleased because this one is so much redder than my Indian Fire, which in all accounts is more of an orange Phragmipedium. So Lussier. So these are the other two Phragmipediums that I bought from Monsieur Lussier. Starting off with this smaller plant, which is Phragmipedium Louisenashit, which is one that has a lovely flower, which very much looks like a Jason Fisher, perhaps similar. And so I think I'm going to have to wait at least a year and a half to see these flowers. But the plant, which was also recently repotted, same method, didn't have a lot of roots, but all of them were active, so I'm hoping this one does really, really well for me. So the next Phragmipedium I bought is called Glowing Embers. This is supposed to be Jason Fisher by Longifolium, I think, because there are several Phragmipediums with that name. And this is a 5-growth plant. Also recently repotted the same way as the others, and I had to put it in a bigger pot because it was tight in the pot. This growth here is the one with the most promise for a spike, which I'm hoping for in the fall or next spring. We shall see. So this is Phragmipedium Glowing Embers. So I didn't buy just Phragmipediums from Monsieur Lussier. I also bought this wonderful orchid. This is Laelia anceps, and it's Sanbar Guerrero AM AOS. So it's supposed to have purple fragrant flowers. And I divided the plant in two. It was very huge. So that's the front end, and this is the back end of the plant. So it is a very big plant. It's not a plant for small spaces, though it seems to have a very tidy growing habit if you kind of stake the pseudobulbs straight up. So I'm keeping the back bulbs because there might be some active eyes here, and if the plant does manage to get these going, I'm going to send this section to Orchidea. She's expressed some interest, so she can have it because I don't need both of them. This is big enough as it is. The original plant was in this pot, and I repotted it in bark, sponge rock, sphagnum moss, and it's growing this new pseudobulb over here, and it's growing pretty fast. So I want to tack on some of my blooming orchids as well in this video. And this is one you've seen before. I don't know if people get tired of seeing the same plants over and over again, but this is Ornithocephalus krugerii. I think I showed it in spike. Flowers weren't quite open yet. I'm going to try and see if I can bloom. I can zoom in on those flowers. Yeah. So the detail on these is quite amazing. And they are scented. And the plant is relatively easy to grow. And actually, I should just say it's easy to grow. So also in bloom is this Hariella retrocella, a miniature that you've seen in my collection before in bloom. This one is fragrant. It's citrusy in the late afternoons. And the flowers last for 10 days. No more, no less. But as you can see, there is already a bud waiting to open. So this one will be in bloom from May all the way till October. So the details on the flowers is just amazing, even though they're very small. But another one that's relatively easy to grow. Even in this homemade mount, this one is not so fussy. I just change the moss once a year, twice a year, depending on what it looks like. And I just water it 2 or 3 times a week, as I do with all my miniatures, and they seem to be quite happy with that. Here's a close-up. So another one that's in bloom right now is my Anak Helium, or Encyclia radiata. This plant was purchased from Clouds 2 years ago. It arrived with a spike with 2 flowers. It had a hard time rooting at first. I tried it in different media, and for some strange reason it wasn't terribly happy after that. And it produced only this very small pseudobulb, which did not bloom last year. But then last spring it produced this pseudobulb, this fat pseudobulb. And 6 months later, voila, we have a spike with just 4 flowers. But I'm still happy with these flowers. I love the detail, and they smell like I don't know, it's a sweet smell, hard to describe. Someone's described it as creamy coconut. I don't know if I would call it creamy coconut, but it is sweet, and the fragrance gets stronger and stronger as the flowers mature. So Anak Helium radiatum. So the last orchid I'm going to feature is this Idea Phalaenopsis that I bought on impulse while shopping in a pharmacy. I would not have thought that pharmacies would sell orchids, but they do. And when I saw this one, I don't know why, but I was compelled to buy it. It's got the strangest mottled flower pattern, and I don't know, when more than one of these flowers is opened is quite impressive. So I call this one Pink Lipstick Kiss because of all the fine lines in the flower pattern. I assume that no 2 flowers will be the same. But I don't think I've ever seen this in any other big box store, so maybe that's why I bought it. It's on a really short spike. That's fine. And I'm growing it in water culture. It's doing okay this way. It took 2 years to rebloom this plant, but I'm happy it did. And I just add a little bit of fertilizer for a week and throw the plant back in straight tap water again. And that seems to work for it. It's growing some interesting roots, a couple of aerial roots, some which are active and some which are not. And so anyways, I hope you enjoy this one, and thank you for watching.